Let me ask you a question. What did you think when Jordan Peterson said, divorce should be 100% out of the question?
Oh, that's right.
How do you process that? How do you process that?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson said that no matter how bad your marriage is, you should stay married for the sake of the kids. Essentially advocating for the nuclear family. Is that?
I agree 100%.
Okay. So even as miserable as you are, you're fighting, you're not having sex with you're not meant to be. At what point do you say, we tried, enough's enough? And at what age of the kids? Okay, at age...
Wait, ask him. Yeah. Do you think no matter what, you should stay married?
I think that if you, again, one of the reasons why I vetted myself before I vetted my wife was because of exactly that. Can I be faithful to this person? Because if I can't, then I should not be reproducing and starting a family and building this huge, world or my frame around all of this if that one little point, if that one fundamental point can't be maintained. So yes, sex is the glue that holds relationships together. Sex is the glue that holds marriages together. And if that falls apart, you go look at the statistics for sexless marriages in the United States right now, it's like something like at least 20%. And a sexless marriage, by the way, is like 10 times a year. Right, like once a month, or and then skip 2 months. I think that's what the.
But you're saying you should
is.
Stay married even if you're in a sexless relationship.
I think that once you're already in that, I think it's very important to, as far as raising the children, if you want to build strong families. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me on that because they'll say, well, I'm not getting what I need out of the relationship, and it's usually the woman that is saying that. It's not so much the man. The men will put up and tolerate way more than women will when it comes to like a bad marriage because they have more to lose. Women are more incentivized, financially incentivized to file for divorce. This is one of the reasons why 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Then you get like social narratives like what we call divorce porn, which is like eat, pray, love, right? Or Stella got her groove back, or just divorce him, girl. He's not the one for you. He was never your soulmate. You need to go run off to Jamaica and have a good time and find your soulmate there after you divorce him.
It's a pretty good movie, but that's about it.
It's divorce porn. It's a fantasy for women who get to the point where they settled on a guy who was not the one, was not their soulmate. The one that got away was the guy in their college days, and they get you want to know why they call it the 7-year itch? It's because it's usually right around 7 years that women have that. They decide, is he the best that I can do? And more, certainly since the 70s, women, the answer to that is no. And to the point where we can go build, very, profitable franchises and romance novels and narratives. Go look at anything like Netflix is chock full of those narratives.
Or 50 Shades of Grey, when that was like the biggest thing on the planet.
50 Shades of Grey, by the way. Remember, 50 Shades of Grey was self-published. It was not like promoted out there.
Errors in the book.
Yes, and it sold 65 million copies in the first year that it was out.
What do you mean few errors in the book?
Oh, it was self-published. The guy had like who's, lose, like spelling errors.
It was basically fan fiction, but it was just rewritten by E.L. something, or I can't remember her last name.
50-some-year-old, was she late 40? I don't know how old she was, but she was an old.
Hit on a very popular narrative because it's that
fantasy.
It's the fantasy of. It's a fantasy with a lot of commonalities in it as well. But you have to look at the popularity of that. I remember we talk about church. I remember church women going, "Have you read 50 Shades of Grey? I can't wait till the movie comes out." And it was all good in the hood to be reading this.
The movie sucked, but the soundtrack was good.
And you know what pastors of the era did? You know what religious guys of the era did? They said, "Oh, it's a failure of men." It's a failure of men that we've allowed this to happen with women, or we can't measure up to that. And so we're ready to self-flagellate and blame ourselves for those the impulses.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.